so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality, and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness which creates and animates all things. After years of exploring this awe-inspiring truth on this podcast, I'm super excited to announce that we are now going even deeper down the rabbit hole on the new late-night style consciousness-elevating talk show called Optimistic, which features none other than you, the listeners. Optimistic is taped out of the epic, spaceship-esque 8-bedroom property we call the Mystic Manor that myself and the rest of the Optimistic crew now navigate reality from in Venice Beach, California. And you are invited to come experience a Mystic Manor immersion week with us. During your week-long stay, you'll enjoy unique workshops, chef-prepared meals, one-on-one time coaching and consulting with me, and even co-creating magic with me as a guest on both Optimistic and an episode of the Positive Head podcast. When I started this, my aim with these immersive retreats was to facilitate the ultimate spiritual upgrade and tune-up, so to speak, for our guests while providing them with one of the most memorable experiences of their lives. And I'm happy to say that as of this recording, every guest at the end of their trip so far has told me that they have had a profound and transformational experience at the Mystic Manor and that they definitely want to come back. All that being said, we only have a limited number of spots available between now and next July. And as of this recording, about half of those spots are already filled. So if there's any part of you that is screaming, yes, I want to come, I feel like I need to be there, go now and book a slot with me to discuss how we can put our heads together and make it happen at calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. I know for some people, there is also that little voice in their head saying, why not? I can't get off work. I can't afford it, and on and on and on. But, really, Henry Ford, I think, said it best. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And I'm confident that where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm personally committed to doing everything in my power, including discounts and payment plans, to get you here if it is something that truly feels like a huge yes for you energetically and like you're meant to be here. Once again, the link to book time to discuss with me is calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. That's spelled calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. All one word, of course. And book in some time and look forward to seeing you soon here at the Mystic Manor. All right, all you positive heads. Here we go again. It is a fabulous Friday, and I bet you've already guessed, I'm not alone. I have three lovely, brave souls to brave the Mystic Manor. This week has been extra. It's been extra intense around here this week, I feel. I have Monse here. I have Scott. I have Kelsey, and of course, I'm with you. Hey guys. Hello. Welcome.
Hello. That was awesome to see you say that live.
Yeah. Oh, man. These have turned into some of my favorite episodes to do because it's like I always love giving people like a new experience in general, whether it's like, I remember going to Burning Man for the first time and it was like mind blown. And then after 6 years or 7 years or whatever, I'm like, it sort of becomes normal to you, right? Like anything in life, like, I know this very, very well. But then you have the experience of like bringing someone and it's like you're stewarding their experience and it's like new, or showing someone your hometown for the first time.
Right.
And it's all of a sudden like new to you again. You get to like live vicariously through them. Speaking of, we're talking about doing a Burning Man camp for all the alumni that have come through the Mystic Manor here. So then I really get to show a lot of new people, that experience. But this is kind of a similar thing because all you guys, it's like totally new to be on a podcast, right? And so each week I've watched different people at different levels. They're like, their nerves are really, in some cases they're like, oh my God. And then, but everyone afterwards like, oh my gosh, that was so fun and so easy. And so I've really enjoyed, this new addition to the ever-changing Positive Head format. And for those of you who don't know, there could be someone, this is the very first episode they're ever hearing, right? So these three have been bold and brave enough to come and spend the week here. We're about 5 days into their journey here at the Mystic Manor. We're basically, doing different workshops and whatever events happen to be arising the week that they land, and live taping our new show Optimistic as well. You can check out optimistic.tv if you haven't seen that trailer or anything yet. And so that's kind of what's going on here. And I just want them to have the opportunity while they're here to originally landing here through the podcast and to actually get to share and co-create both this show and, of course, Optimistic tomorrow night. So when we live tape. So who's the bravest of them all that wants to chat first and share a little bit about what their experience has been so far?
I will. I'll do it.
I'm taking it. This is Scott. By the voice.
It doesn't feel like 5 days though, does it? It's like it feels like 2 days, or when time kind of melted away.
Yeah, this week time-wise this week's been energetically really unique for me. Like I feel like I've gotten less, like today I spend the day with you guys, but even leading up to this, I feel like it's like even when I'm walking around the house or whatever, I saw you guys less than normally,
Right.
And so because of that, it feels like time is quicker. It feels like, you've only been here like 2 days.
Yeah.
This is what it feels like to me.
It's good. It was, I feel like my experience even started, I think all of ours, like it starts before you even get here. Obviously Patra kind of is like the liaison, so she's setting everything up, and that's great and that's wonderful and she does a great job, but then you have to like tell your family and friends, like,
where are you going?
Yeah, where are you going? Like, I'm going to Venice.
Is this a cult?
What are you going to do in Venice? It's like, it's a retreat. Yoga retreat? No. Meditation retreat? No.
We're not sure.
Yeah. So then you tell them, and I'm sure a lot of the world probably thinks we're crazy when we're coming out here, and
as Steve Jobs said, all the best, the crazy ones, all the best people are.
Yeah,
exactly. So then to get out here, and I guess like it really hit when you're standing in front of the gate. Like, I don't know if any of the listeners have seen pictures of the Mystic Manor, but there's this amazing gate, and I think the magic kind of starts there, and it gets like kind of weirdly familiar, right? Like, feel like I've been here, or you feel like it's family, and then you come in and everybody was like just really, even though I've never seen anybody, I still don't remember half of the people's names, but everybody felt like family and close and nice and safe and beautiful, and so that's probably one of the coolest parts about it. I think that was really nice. And then we got here on a great week. Like we got very lucky. So second day, Shaman Dirk came in to release his book, and I'm from Wisconsin, so to hug Shaman Dirk and like the Princess of Norway, and
his partner is the Princess of Norway, and
crazy.
It's like, no big deal, Dad's the king.
And then Brandon introduces us to Gerard Butler as Jerry. Like, hey, here's my friend Jerry. It's like,
he had been my friend for like 15 minutes at that point, by the way.
My friend Jerry.
It's really a little intense for like our second day. So it was great, and then like for me to get into the work, wow, that was really amazing. Like I loved Dr. Nick.
Oh yeah, he's
a trip, right? Like
the essential oil wizardry. Actually, he was an interviewee maybe 2 years ago. If you go search Dr. Nick in the archives at positivehead.com, you can find my chat with him. You might want to go do that. He is a essential oil wizard. advisor.
Yeah, I got to talk to him a little bit. He was like a pharmacist that stopped, and now he extracts something out of essential oils or out of plants and makes these
Tinctures.
Yeah, and drops them on your tongue, and they all do exactly what he says. It was crazy, it was really interesting. And then, we spend, 12 hours with Kim Boda.
Oh, right. The Dr. Joe Dispenza work.
That was like huge because, it's really taking the science and connecting it to meditation. So, most of us that end up here, I think we've probably meditated and it works and it's a great thing, but then she breaks it down to a way that, if you breathe this way, this is what's opening up this gland, or this is what's excreting these hormones, and, it really gets scientific, and I think it definitely leveled up, my meditation game. Like, that was very, very cool. And that, got to hang out with Mary Beth that does past life regression and future life.
You saw like some interesting.
Man, it was really intense. Had
really you done anything like that before?
Never did anything like that before.
Wow.
I didn't even know what the process was.
For you, did the information come to you like visually? Did it come to you in feelings?
No, Brandon, it was like so vivid. It was like a vivid dream, but I could kind of like hear things, smell things, feel things. It was like just a really weird, crazy, vivid dream, that I had. Yeah, it was really powerful.
Wow. And you had one of yours was glimpsing into a future self?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That had to be kind of strange because that like lies ahead, if there is such a thing as time,
But I kind of got that feeling, right? Like maybe it was future, but it was still the same time.
Yeah, it's like, the way I view that sort of thing is like, okay, it's all happening in the eternal now. So in a linear time from Earth's perspective, it's happening in the future. But from the soul's perspective, it's all happening simultaneously.
Exactly how I felt.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I felt like it was still at the same time. So yeah, it's been a trip, man. Thank you, brother, for creating this.
You've been such a joy, and I'm so excited to be able to spend today and just drop in deeper and. It's the movement is moving. It definitely has sort of a life of its own.
Totally, yeah. And definitely a shout out to Ian, who's like he's the chef here, and like
his food's amazing.
My God, yeah. Like I just sit at the counter and wait for the. Next I don't really do anything else if I'm not in a workshop, Like where's Scott? He's at the food counter.
That's hilarious. Oh wow! So who feels like sharing something next? Oh,
I got here the earliest. I got here Monday, like 9 a.m. I had a really early flight. Mm-hmm. So I kind of just dove into everything. They're like, oh, we're gonna, meditate and do our morning ritual right now. And so I got to meet everybody at the same time. So that was really nice. And we just did some, I believe it was our full moon intentions, and so it just dove right into that. And I met Bradley, which I don't even know is your son until later.
Oh,
he was like, oh, hey, Dad. I'm like, okay.
That's funny.
He's great.
And Everett and Ian and Hannah, Aya, like everybody, I was in a circle with them, and it was, of course, I didn't really know them individually.
You just dropped right into their full moon early morning ritual.
Okay, and then we drew some cards after, and I had not slept before that. It's just been a crazy week, so it's kind of just nice to take that all in. And, I did rest after, and then everybody else joined that night. And just having dinner next to Brandon was amazing. It was still...
Everyone's always a little... the Monday night is always like a little like... I'm in this weird, trippy Mystic Manor, and Brandon's here. I've been listening to him for a long time, but he's there, and it's kind of weird. Yeah. And so it's funny to watch from Monday to by the end of the week. It's like, people are like, so comfortable.
Brandon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's been great. I mean, Scott got a lot of it. That big party was... totally...
The Shaman Dirt party was pretty wild. I mean, the energy was intense.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
in
So intense.
yeah, I mean, so guys, he's giving like his speech to all the crowd, and there's like, several celebrities, and, I'm like looking around like, wow, this is all happening in my house, in our house this week, right? And it's like all of a sudden some woman just passed out of nowhere. She hadn't had
right
alcohol.
next to me.
Yeah, just like face planted, like in the middle of his speech. And I'm thinking to myself, I think everything being energetic in nature and like what's the tie-in? And here's this powerful shaman coming out with this first book that's getting released in 40 countries. And if anyone I know that I feel like their star is rising and is going to make a really big splash on the world stage, continue to like kind of reach more and more people, I feel it's him. He's just got such a powerful presence. Did you guys meet him?
Yeah, I got a hug.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, powerful
it was super
energy.
powerful.
Yeah. And so here he is giving this powerful speech talking about his wild life story, and all of a sudden this person just goes over and I'm just like, whoa, what is going on energetically? And she busted her teeth out, and it was just like, wow, what happened? Like, it was,
Welcome to Mystic Manor.
That's the first, and hopefully she's okay now. But anyway, that's a whole different thing. Other than that was the only like weird dramatic thing. And it's not like, oh, she tripped, she fell, she just like straight up just passed out, just like went down like a ton of bricks. That was interesting.
Yeah, but it's been great being here, just getting away from everything and just relaxing. And I've slept so much. I don't think I've slept this much in a long time. And Ian's food, again, it's just so good.
Mm-hmm.
So good. I was not used to vegan food at all, and just the fact that it was really delicious.
You can see that like it being prepared with love and intention, and it can be, just as delicious and satiating and all the things, right?
Yeah. And then we also got to go to the beach with Petra. She took us out and got to go in the water, and it was very cold. Just been hanging out here, just the pool, hot tub.
Next 2 days are big ones too, with the tomorrow night, and we're having like we have all this visionary art here as well, and we're just doing our first little gallery art walk today, so people are going to be coming through checking out the visionary art, and then we have the live taping tomorrow, and there's all these events tonight that we have optionally to go to. So it's every week is just like a little different, it's like the people are different, what's happening is different. So for me, it's like a very interesting thing to watch, like, okay, who's the energies that's meant to come in next, and what's going to happen, and how is it going to all fall together,
Yeah. It's just been so peaceful and chill, and I've been in yoga pants most days, and it's just relaxing. It's awesome.
My aim, as much as anything, is for everyone who comes through to like feel and see kind of the vortex of magic that this place is, and for them to feel like, oh wow, this is a part of my life now too. Because you become such a key part of the house during the week, and so I hope that's like something that's left with you guys. Like, oh, like I'm taking the Mystic Manor is coming with me in some way,
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was like definitely life-changing, I think, this week. It's funny because it's like I've listened to you for years, and then to come here and actually meet you, it's like next level. So it's really cool, and the whole experience has just been awesome. I feel like we've known each other for lifetimes. It's so funny. So
yeah, and I said that to every person that's come. I feel like anyone who does end up here, it's like it's a soul contract. I mean, you guys are helping to support everything that's going on here by coming and spending the money to come here for a week. And on our end, the aim is to it's such a beautiful energetic exchange, I feel, because for one, it's like I just went to a retreat in India, and it's like it was like $15,000 for the week, and I watched these people. I didn't pay for it; it was gifted to me. But I was looking at, and of course, this is like a small fraction of that, and it made me feel so good because I watch people have some really powerful experiences, and I've seen some really powerful things happen here, and it's like we've really done everything we can to make it as like I said, it's ever moving, but it's comfortable and it's reasonable for those of you who out there who still maybe want to come to be able to get here. And it's been such a joy to steward this thing so far, and it's just, and it's wild to think it's just kind of warming up.
Yeah, it's brand new.
It's new and improved. So Kelsey, what has been your, you said you've been listening for several years. Like, what has been your takeaway? Like, coming, like, what has been your biggest takeaway?
Since I started listening, I've started practicing the law of attraction, and changing my life around. Self-love, meditation. So it was such a good reminder since I got here we can manifest anything we want, and we have.
Yeah.
And it's like so easy.
It's brilliantly easy and completely challenging if you think it's hard.
Yeah. So it was just a really good reminder that we just are so powerful.
Yeah.
And we can have whatever we want.
Yeah. Yep.
If we want it.
Yep. Indeed. Scott, what's what I'd like to hear from you guys too is just anything that's been bubbling up for you in your own sort of journey in your own life, that is maybe either a share that you feel like you'd like to share with. It can have something to do that's happened here or not at all, that you feel compelled. I mean, you guys in this case are like sort of the P-head, representatives, here on the show this week. And so you're an extension of everything that this show represents in a big way, that you come to support this next version of it, the evolution of it, et cetera, et cetera. So what is, Scott, how has your journey been to, self-realization and what feels like important for you to share?
I think I think I was into everything, had more of a yoga background, meditation, that sort of thing, but then started listening to you more recently, and I think it's great that you give us a lot of avenues and and a lot of inspiration or knowledge as to where to get more of this information. And then I think coming here was really a level up for me, and if you don't think you can do it, or if you think it's crazy to do, and believe me, my life is crazy. I don't have time for this, dude. I don't have time. I don't have a week to come and meditate.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
It was like, for me, it was the time that was really difficult to separate from.
Yep.
And even though you think in your life in the real world of meditating or doing yoga or this or that or whatever you're into, to get away for a week and really get some headspace like this was the big life-changing thing for me, and really re-energizing. And I think if anything I had to take away how important it is to do this. This will be a once a year thing for me for sure. Definitely. And even if it's not here at the Mystic Manor, to separate yourself from the world, Yep. I can't tell you how many times this week is I look at one of you guys what day is it?
Yeah.
What time?
And that feels nice to
Man, I've never had that,
so
Brandon.
nice.
I can't tell you the last time I had that. For the people listening that can't see us, I have 2 children, businesses, I don't have that moment to not be thinking about something or some responsibility or those types of things. So it doesn't really matter how much yoga or meditation or blah, 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 whatever you do, you never get away with that. So to peel away for a week and just really dive in was the greatest gift, for me, and that's definitely the biggest takeaway. I mean, obviously there's, details, like I said, from Kim Boda or Dr. Nick or whoever, that we learn these details that we can take back to our life. But for me, that was probably the biggest lesson, to learn how to just separate and chillax for a week here and there. Man.
Yeah. It's like I think Osho said, if everyone should meditate 20 minutes a day or something like that. Right. I'm paraphrasing. It's 20 minutes a day. Unless you're too busy, you should meditate for an hour.
For an hour, right? Totally.
And it's I relate to you, Scott, so much, because that's been one of the biggest challenges for me, even with just having went to India, it was the same thing. It was like someone wanted to gift me this incredible trip with, this amazing guy, John Emerald, who you guys will hear on the show, who's like this energy healer, and he's working with all the, like Tony Robbins, like he travels with him, and he's about to have a show on Netflix on energy healing that he's doing with Gwyneth Paltrow. And, here, let me gift you this trip to India, and it's like this, amazing thing, and all I could think about was the time.
I don't got time.
Yeah.
It's the time, but I did it because I'm like, okay, I need to make that, and it's like that's when you start realizing we're actually masters of time and space. We're learning to become masters of time and space, and it's the same way that when I talk about people coming here and or creating the abundance to come. If it's like a stretch for them financially, just like doing this as a stretch for me financially, I felt like it's like, oh, this is actually how I create more abundance.
Correct.
This is how you create more time.
Yes.
By making the time, because otherwise you could, as you and I talked about the other day, you could work all day, every day until the moment you die and never do it all and never run out of things to do.
Right.
And I think you're a similar personality type to me where it's like, I could never stop.
Yeah.
And it's like, but if I start making and creating the space, not only do you have the ability to do that, but I think the end results of your work that you're doing will be more fruitful.
Better,
So it's like learning, a big one for all of us is learning to work smarter and not harder.
Absolutely.
And giving that self-love time and saying, oh, I deserve this. Oh, I want to do this thing that's outside of my normal or my comfort zone. It's like Dr. Joe, you guys went through the workshop with him, and this probably came up. He talks about if you want to break the habit of being yourself, break your habits.
Yeah, totally.
You've got to break those habits and do something different.
Your physical habits and all that. It's funny. Everybody was super sweet because they kept rolling into my room and everything and being like, dude, you good? Are you okay? Are you fine? I'm like, I'm great. I just want to be alone.
Like last night I came here, like, come out.
You're like,
I'm like looking for all three.
I'm really good.
Like, I want to play with everyone. And Scott's like, no, I'm good right now. And I'm like, okay, you seem good. Okay.
I'm like, man, this is making me more happy.
Yeah.
We're going inward.
Yes.
And Kelsey's big birthday yesterday. We have a belated birthday cake. We gotta go cut up after this because you were out and about. But quite a few people have done that too. Have landed here. Last week we had someone's Heinrich's 50th birthday when he was here, and he's amazing.
Such a good gift.
Yeah, so cool. So what do you two? How about you two? What's in your heart that you just feel like sharing with this, this audience that you are now the representative of?
Definitely just make the time to come here. It's just life-changing. Similar to Scott, I've taken vacations before, but they've been like busy vacations where there's so much hiking, so much to do, but this is more a good balance of hanging out and just relaxing because we get free time, and at the same time a whole bunch of like workshops and other things to do. And I never thought I haven't checked an email. I haven't checked my email since I got here. And
that's quite the accomplishment.
Yeah, you're better than me.
Yeah. Totally. You showed us off stuff.
Yeah, and I told my boss, I'm like, I'll try to text back if you text me, but I'm not going to be checking anything.
Yeah.
And, they were all for, like, we won't, because I just told them, spiritual, non-religious retreat. Like, no, we won't bother, you're Zen. And, but just, and it's just the fact that you helped us out, like, payment plans. Like, we didn't even have to pay everything, like, all at once. Like, that was so helpful.
Good.
And, I've never been so at peace and relaxed. And if anybody's new to spirituality itself, I think that's also, like, what I've liked about it. Like, okay, I didn't know what it was like to, like, do yoga, like, almost every day, which has been awesome. And just meditate and all of these other things I would have got to experience, like past life regression. So things that I can take with me, like even Ian's recipes. I'm like ready to go back and be a little vegan too. So just definitely life-changing. If y'all are still thinking about it, just come on over. It'll be worth it.
How long have you been listening to the podcast?
Not not that long.
Oh, well.
Maybe end of last year, I'd say. So about a year.
How about your spiritual journey, like your awakening journey? How long's that been happening for you?
That's been... So I grew up Catholic, so it was really hard to break away from that. Very, very, very hard. And I've always questioned it, but I was always like, oh, no, I can't question it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, around the time where I finally broke away and started listening to your podcast, and I was like, oh, this feels so much better. Like,
wow.
Even I went to this one Unity Church too, where it's like this is where I belong.
Yeah.
And it feels so nice.
Yeah. Aw. How about you, Kelsey? What is, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with what's going on here. I mean, it can, but just in general, like, in your own journey, your life, your spiritual awakening, what do you feel compelled to share from your heart, or you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, I would say the biggest is to take time out and go inward, and because that's
creating space.
When you're creating, you're either in survival mode or you're in creation. And
survival or thrival.
Oh, yeah. And I just realized, oh my gosh, I've spent the past 5 years of my life in survival mode almost.
Yeah, right.
Until I started listening to the podcast, and I was like, there's more. Like, I can be doing so much better just thriving. And it's just meditate. Just even if most people that I talk to, I'm like, do you meditate? And they're like, no, I can't turn off my mind. Well, practice. I mean, even do it for like a minute if you can. It's like a muscle.
If I can add to that, it's like, what I love speaking, I think it was Osho again that talked about like all these ideas about what meditation is or isn't supposed to be. And it's like if you can look at meditation as taking the time to observe what's arising.
Yeah.
Right? Just not even that you have to quiet your mind. Yes, that can be an aim, but just the fact that you've decided and you've made the energetic statement to the universe, I'm going to take the time and I'm going to just be with myself. Yeah. I'm going to watch what arises, and I can't get it wrong. By sitting down and saying, this is what I'm going to do, you already won.
Yeah.
You already did the results, the positive results that come from it are instantaneous by you choosing to, say, I'm going to go in and self-reflect and observe. And I may have a mantra. I may have a breathe, watch my breath. I may have any of these many different techniques, and realizing like that there's nothing wrong with, you can't get it wrong.
No, and it doesn't have to be sitting in silence. I mean, you could paint, even if you're not good at painting, or if you don't think that you're good, you could paint.
Yep. By the way, Kelsey's an amazing artist.
So, thank you. But like it's, if you focus your time on something, that's really meditation. Even going for walks.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it's just so important.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Aw, well, do any of you, as we kind of like wind down here, does anyone have anything that like a question or a topic or a comment or anything? We do very little prepping. When I just turn the mic on, there's no instruction with this guys out there. It's like, let's just share what's happened for you this week and whatever's bubbling up. So, is there anything else bubbling up that any of you are feeling compelled to share?
I've had a lot of healing while I've been here. There's a lot of things. I
feel like you've opened up like a lot from the moment you stepped through. You feel different to me than day one for sure.
Yeah, I was really, and we talked about this with Petra too. That was like our intention. I wanted to just be me and like stop being so scared to be myself. And I've just, that alone, but just a lot of other things where I've been working on myself. I had I didn't know my dad since I was like really young, and like I asked about that, and just I got closure from that, and just a lot of other things like that I've been cycling through over and over. I've gone to therapy. I've done all these things to help, but just finally being here and taking the time to look back and like, oh, I just got to heal this, like that one time, and I'll be okay. And it's just, yeah, a lot of healing that's been going on.
It's like validation.
Yeah.
It's like understanding that you are as worthy, and I say this all the time, and I'll continue to beat this drum because it's so important for everyone out there listening to understand. You are as worthy as any soul ever has been, could be, would be. You know, a lot of times with the show, it's interesting because, you know, people, of course, they've listened to me for a long time, and I'm becoming this, you know, represent this thing to them, and so it can be, you know, where people can then like sort of put you on a pedestal or something. And it's like, oh, and look at all what you're doing, and you know, and sometimes that can lead to, and I could never do that, or I'm not. Yeah. It's like, no, I'm a reflection of you. Yeah. Like whatever you're seeing, you know, you come to the Mystic Manor and you see some crazy magic, or you know, you guys haven't met Chad yet. You missed him because he was here last night and you weren't around. But you know, like all the magic, everything's a reflection of you, and that so anytime you're ever falling into comparison, you're missing the point. It's like seeing that person on Instagram and like, oh, you know, I'm not that beautiful, or I could never do. It's like, no, you're looking at it wrong. You're attracting that person. The reason they're on your feed is because you're such a close vibrational match out of the billion people that are on this platform that you happen to be vibrationally like reflecting each other in this moment.
Yeah.
And when you understand that like the universe has had to bend over backwards for you to exist and to be here and to make it to this moment, when you really get that, now you're really, really on to something, you know, special. You're actually honoring your ancestors. You're actually honoring, you know, the universe is evolving, ever evolving. You are the universe looking back and experiencing itself, right? And here it is. It's come to this point in its own evolution, and it's you, and you're judging it, saying, "Oh, I'm not. It's not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not." Do you know the ancestors and the decision points that had to be made to, you know, for you to be here? And then we're constantly like disrespecting that or dishonoring that or not or seeing it properly. Like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not. Yeah, you may be full of all kinds of challenges and things that led up to this point, and this moment, hearing this, and you are so beautiful for that. That's not, you know, that's what makes you so beautiful, that you get to like come out of the ashes and be the phoenix rising for the ashes and learn to really see your value and appreciate yourself and stop comparing yourself to say you can't compare yourself to anyone. What a freaking joke that is.
You're perfect just the way you are.
There's no one else. There is no other version of you, like exactly. Like, you know, it's like comparing apples and oranges if you ever compared yourself to anyone.
Yeah. And then when you heal all that ancestral stuff, when you heal yourself, you're healing your mom, you're healing your grandma, you're healing people that you didn't even know before in your bloodline. And I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing when you start realizing, you know, I talk to a lot of people who've done ayahuasca journeys and things like that. And there's a lot of people who are having those experiences like, oh, I'm here healing this thing or transmuting this thing that's I'm not just doing it for me. I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it for all these that I love that came before me. It's like we're carrying the genetic code, you know, in our DNA is all the wounds as well as the gifts that our lineage has led us to, and you are the choice point. You are the culmination of that. And for a lot of us that are at this point in our journey, you know, think of everyone listening. You know, where was your grandmother or grandfather at in their journey? They're probably not resonating, more likely than not resonating with the same information we all are hearing this right now. And you know, what they did and went through, sort of, there's some unresolved things that are now, in a sense, inside of you. So if things are coming up in your life, like, look at it as like, I'm so full of love and so powerful, I get to be the one that helps to heal that for our lineage, you know, and passing that on. And it's like, just like, it's such an honor to connect with every person that's listening to this and every one of you guys that come here. It's like the bravest, most badass souls. So I hope all of you out there listening, remember that and really tap into that truth about who and what you are. Like, you don't have to have done anything grandiose or had a podcast or done anything that is viewed as like, somehow special in the eyes of Instagram world or TV or whatever. Just being you.
Yeah.
You are just so powerful and valid and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wow. We're speaking of being masters of time and space. It's 37 minutes or so since looking ish.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, can you believe it? Like, where did the no time go? So, folks out there listening, the four of us are off to our next adventure. I hope your adventure, wherever you're catching this broadcast, I hope you are making the most of it and really, really loving and appreciating yourself, because you deserve it. And each of the three of you deserve all the magic that we're going to experience in the next few days. It's still here and beyond. Thank you for showing up. Thank you all for listening. Till next time, journey well. Love you all so, so much. And if you're feeling the call to come for a week retreat style Mystic Manor immersion, remember to go now and book your time to speak with me directly about stepping into the optimistic vortex at calendly.com/talk with Brandon while there are still spots left. Otherwise, I look forward to co-creating magic with you at the Mystic Manor.